Hey beauties, good afternoon to you. Now listen to me, beautiful people. I don't even know how to describe my feeling right now. It's a strong sense of angst. I am beyond incensed. What I mean by that, very much angered, because you know what has happened? Had we maintained certain principles and values, these things wouldn't happen. If you see my tongue look orange, guys, it's cheese tricks when I eat, and so I ignore the thing. I saw a video, 2 of them, but I'm going to speak on I'm going to do a video on both. Separate videos, I should say. I saw a teacher, big man. The man looked like he's in his late 50s, could be early 60s, could be. I say, based on how he looks, because sometimes you can look older than you are, especially if you have gray beard, but it's a big man, definitely over 50. Definitely he's over 50. And I don't know, I couldn't hear the video so clearly. But the classroom, and like you have the 2 classrooms separated by how the wall is, like it's not attached fully to the ceiling. So there was a young fellow. He seemed to be about, his age seemed to be about 16, 17. Maybe he's younger, but between 15, but more 16. He looks more 16, 17 to me. Could be young, as I said. And like he was, I don't know if he was threatening the elderly teacher, the big man, and whatever he said, the big man said, then come and do what you say, since you're basically say, since you're bad, come and do what you're doing. And the fellow jumped down off the wall in the classroom, because of how it's, those classrooms that separate the other, jump down, walk up, charge up to the teacher and push the teacher in his face. And it must have been the Holy Spirit that came over that big man. Whatever he had in his hand, I don't know if it's a pen or glasses or whatnot, and he just put it in his thing and he stayed there, and then the video ended. Whoever was videoing it, it ended. He was calm, cool, serene as a cucumber in a refrigerator. And I say, respect to that elderly man. Respect to that elderly man. Now listen to me, family of that child, and even that child, if he is to come across this video. There's a scripture in the New Testament that talks about ensure that you respect the elderly, because it's like a curse will come upon you. Sometimes you don't wonder why things happen to these youngsters, them not live past 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You wonder, and nobody probably has done anything to them. It's either terrible sickness hit them, they meet in a bad accident, or they get killed. Because of these things, a curse come up on them when they disrespect, especially the elderly like that. And the way how that man was calm, cool and collected, that elderly teacher, you see, because of that, then him must have got fighting battles for him. I am thinking, I remember that back in the days when I was in school, oh God, I was a feisty one. Feisty. But it could never in my wildest, wherever the dream or the nightmare want to be, it didn't even come across our minds to want to put our hands on anybody. It is something that I've always been beastly against. I mean, as picnic probably fight one another, yes, because you're young, and you say a picnic them, not to say that was right, but to fight a teacher, we would be out of our cotton picking mind, as they would have said, cotton picking, and we would be mad as shad. Mad as shad. We'd be mad. And because when you take out a number of salient things, that elements that should be in school, prayer is the key one. Corporal punishment is the one where you beat, no? Yeah. But I know when you go high school, you don't get beaten. But, you do the things like it's a conduct mark, detention, suspension if it has to go there, expulsion if it has to go there. But things are put in motion. I remember in high school, like they you might do a detention where you stay back after school, you have to clean the window, do this, some sort of a disciplinarian act that mitigates infraction. So we not do it again because we might not like that. We don't want to have to know that after school we have to stay back and do some duty, or you write one whole heap. You think that thing wasn't only in prep school, like you write 100 words of the same thing. These things teach discipline. You think they don't teach discipline? Remember, in Karate Kid, the old time one, not the one with Will Smith's son, even that one too, but more so the old time one. Don't remember the name of any of them. Mr. Miyagi, I think. Him say wax on, wax off. I think it's him, and him same one come back in the newer one too, right? Wax on, wax off. And the guy got frustrated And when him start to do the karate thing on him realized that the wax on, wax off thing helped him. Didn't understand that he had to teach him discipline, repetition in the discipline, and just doing the same thing over and over again. Had we had some of these things in school and Pitney, and not only that, back in them time there, and I like say me whole and cold. You understand me? Me still fairly young. Still have a little tip of youth thing in me. Same way. In them days there, when they teach, if you didn't even want to make sure, you want to ensure that you don't give any sort of trouble, commit any misconduct in school, no infractions. Because you don't want them have to contact your parents for them to come down to the school, because it's double punishment. It's not a matter that the teacher will get away with telling a lie. But once they prove it that you have done something wrong, something that is, against the laws of the school, so to speak, or against an individual, know that not only the teacher going to punish you, but your parents as well. So you ensure that you walk on the chalk line straight. You not slip. Fearful. Nowadays, it is as though it's a joy to call your family members, because your family members will defend you and fight against the teacher, create problems. I remember sometime last year with teachers, tires were slashed. And I don't know if the teacher had gotten beaten up, I think, or boxed in the face. A math teacher. I never forgot it. I think, was she female? Or it's a male teacher? I don't remember. Next day, the tires were slashed. You understand? The tires were slashed. Because it is allowed. There is no accountability. There is no accountability in schools. No accountability. You're going to talk about you want to implement programs of how to deal with conflict, conflict, what resolution? You teach picnic if you have respect for elders. And I'm not talking about that the elders must disrespect. I come against, I despise, I do not advocate, nor do I subscribe to any form of abuse, whether it's older people to the younger or vice versa, or younger to the older. It has nothing to do with that. That is why the scripture says, train up a child in the way he or she should go, that when they're old, they don't depart. It doesn't mean they don't slip. It means that when you get old, it starts to take root. The seed is now growing into a tree. So whatever you teach them, it will start to promulgate. You'll see the person emit that. So that we have less issues in life. Less crime, less violence, less domestic abuse. How dare that young fella jump down and dare the older teacher and box him basically in his face. Basically chuck him or whatever he did in his face. Rude. And the administration need to not be afraid of these family members. When they come with their threats, they need to go up on their knees and pray and fast. And say, God, deal with them. When Elisha was walking, and the 42 boys, them mock him and go on the most way. Him look up to God and say, God, deal with these people. What's going on here, God? Deal with them. And 2 she-bears, 2 pan the 42 she-bears come and yam them up, tear them to shreds. Out of order and disrespectful. Jump, they couldn't believe like him, and him charge up to the teacher. Charged up. And these are the young men that growing up in the society. I don't want to push them for people, girl picnic. Although some of them girl picnic, they are the next one, because the next video that I'm going to talk about is a female. Because no prayer in schools, no more devotion, no accountability. No, it's corporal, capital punishment is the one making, so it's corporal, baby. Fine. I might not, necessarily when you reach a certain age, I mean, I really will say beating. But, at least you have some things, some disciplinarian acts in terms of the detention, condom. If you get too many, them tell you, say, but if you reach a certain number of conduct marks or detention, then you probably go to suspension and then expulsion. And that has nothing to do with abuse. It's a narcissistic thinking to think that when you're being a disciplinarian, teaching people accountability or answerability and discipline in love, of course in love, because you want transformation for the better. You're coming to talk about abuse of children. Nonsense. And that's why the society in the condition is which it is in. It's just a narcissistic thing to call good evil and evil good. And they can only fool the idiot. But God going to deal with that fellow. God is going to deal with that fellow. Guys, Follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message. Thank you.